The city was drowning in rain, a silver curtain falling over the skyscrapers. Inside a lavish restaurant, crystal glasses clinked and soft music played a perfect picture of wealth. But at the best table, Ethan Cross, the brilliant CEO of Cross Enterprises, was falling apart. He sat alone, his hand trembling under the table, staring at the empty seat across from him. He had everything: money, power, and fame. But inside he was hollow. Anxiety had been his constant companion since the accident that took his fiancée a year ago. Therapy, medication, retreats. Nothing could quiet the storm in his mind. Tonight was supposed to be another business dinner, another performance. But as the panic attack tightened its grip, he felt like he couldn't breathe. That's when he saw her. Through the rain-streaked window, a girl stood under a broken umbrella, shivering by the entrance. Her clothes were simple, her shoes torn. She looked lost and hungry, a world away from the luxury inside. Ethan didn't know what drove him. Maybe it was desperation, or maybe it was fate. He walked outside, his expensive shoes splashing in puddles. "Excuse me," he said, his voice shaking. The girl looked up, startled. "Would you hold my hand?" She stared at him, confused. What? What?" He fumbled for his wallet, pulled out a crisp $1,000 bill, and pressed it into her trembling hand. "Here's $1,000. Just hold my hand, please." The girl, Lila, hesitated. She had spent her life fighting for every scrap, supporting her sick mother and dodging pity. Kindness from men in expensive suits usually came with a price. But when she looked into his eyes, she didn't see arrogance. She saw raw, unfiltered pain. So she nodded and slowly reached out. Her hand was small and cold, but it was steady. The moment their palms touched, something shifted. Ethan's frantic breathing slowed. The crushing weight on his chest lifted. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of calm. They stood there in the pouring rain for what felt like an eternity. When he finally looked up, he whispered, "Thank you." Lila offered a faint, gentle smile. "You don't need to pay me for being human." She placed the money back into his hand, and before he could say another word, she disappeared into the night. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. The image of the girl haunted him. She had nothing, yet she had refused $1,000 for a simple act of kindness. The next morning, he began searching for her. He didn't even know her name, but he couldn't forget her eyes, tired but full of quiet strength. Days later, he found her working in a small cafe, wiping down tables and humming softly. He approached cautiously. She looked up, and a playful smile lit up her face. "You again?" she teased. "Do you need another hand-holding session?" He laughed, a real, unforced laugh. "Maybe I need more than that? Coffee this time?" That was how it started. Not with grand gestures, but with quiet moments over cheap coffee. They talked about everything: her mother's illness, his sleepless nights, her dream of opening a bookstore, his fear of loving again. With her, he wasn't a CEO. He was just Ethan, flawed, lonely, and human. She didn't see his fortune. She saw his heart. One day, he offered to pay for her mother's medical treatments. Again, she refused. "If you do that, I'll feel like I owe you," she said firmly. "Let me earn it someday." He smiled, captivated by her integrity. "Then let me help you earn it." He hired her to work in his company's community outreach division. Lila knew nothing about corporate life, but she knew how to listen to people's stories and understand their pain. Under her guidance, the cold, forgotten department bloomed. She started charity drives, helped single mothers, and launched a scholarship for underprivileged students. Ethan watched, mesmerized, as she brought light and hope wherever she went. But their journey wasn't easy. Rumors spread through the company the CEO was involved with a poor employee. Heartbroken, Lila wanted to quit. "I can't let people think I'm with you for your money," she cried. Ethan took her hands, just like he did that first night in the rain. "Then hold my hand because you want to," he said softly, "not because of what anyone else thinks," and she did. Months later, her mother was healthy, and with Ethan's quiet help, Lila opened her little bookstore. One rainy evening, they found themselves back where it all began, outside that same restaurant. Ethan pulled out a small velvet box. "Here's another deal," he whispered. "Not for $1,000 this time, but for forever." Tears streamed down her face, mixing with the rain. "You don't need to pay me to hold your hand anymore." He smiled, slipping the ring onto her finger. Good, because now you're never letting go. Their story teaches us that true connection isn't built on wealth or status. It's built on empathy and understanding. Because sometimes the simple, sincere touch of another human being is the one thing that can heal a broken soul and bring it back to life. Thanks for watching, and if this story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more.